always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Greetings, good people of the planet Earth and the known universe. You're listening to Gsmc's podcast, entertainment podcast, that is. Oh, yeah. And how's everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well. It's still like, I still can't believe it's 2019. It's like, where did all the time go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Well, good folks, today's podcast episode is entitled R. Kelly. Damn. Kevin Hart apology, and Game of Thrones, sick of it. You say, Captain Keith, what does it all mean? What does it all mean? Hey, stick around and I'll let you know. So let's get to it for the entertainment news. All right. First and foremost, Rosario Dawson and Senator Cory Booker ignite romance rumors after night out together. Nice picture of the two of them. So I was just like, I was shocked when I saw the story. Okay. Mr. Booker, all right, dating a beautiful TV and movie star. New couple alert. Rosario Dawson and Senator Cory Booker are sparking dating rumors after a night out on the town. A source states that the 39-year-old actress and the politician attended the Broadway musical Dear Evan Hansen at the Music Box Theater in New York City on Saturday evening. Okay, all right. Sounds like a good date, you know. The source said the two appeared to be on a date and that they even made it a family affair with Dawson's daughter, Lola, and Booker's niece with them. After the show, the Luke Cage star got up on stage and briefly sang before the two posed for photos backstage with the cast. That's what the source states. See, I didn't realize that Miss Dawson can sing. I haven't heard her sing before. All right. There's a picture of Cory and Rosario with the entourage. Looks like... and I didn't know that Rosario had a daughter. I see Rosario's daughter. And it looks like I see Cory's niece. Okay. And some other people in the picture who I don't know. All right. According to page 6, the musical was the pair's second outing together. The publication reports that they were seen going to the movies in NYC on Thursday night. Dawson previously dated comedian Eric Andre. They broke things off in November of 2017. So 2 years ago, basically. All right. Okay. So there that is. And let's see. Dawson recently stated that she opened up about her newfound outlook on life following 2 deaths in her family. Quote, "It's not about going to work, paying the bills, and then coming right back home," she expressed. "It's about being lit up, learning, challenging yourself, and pushing and utilizing your skills and talents, and just being excited about what you get to do." I mean, that's how it should be. Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. Dawson, who has been an avid activist and co-founded Voto Latino in 2004, I guess it's Voto, also explained that she just wants to be of service to herself, her family, friends, and community. We have so much negativity and ugliness out there, and we get so critical and so angry. Okay, let's see. Depressed, and when you're in that space, you build from that space, the actress explained. "I just want to build from the love that I have. I'm in an amazing place with my daughter and with my friends and family." Good for you. It's very nice and grounded, down-to-earth thing to say. She seems like she'd be a nice person to meet, Miss Dawson. Bradley Cooper raves about incredible actor Rami Malek after losing to him at the Golden Globes. So the Star is Born director was at the National Board of Review Annual Awards Gala at Cipriani on 42nd Street in New York City on Tuesday, where he was honored with the award for Best Director, just days after losing that award and the one for Best Drama Actor at the Golden Globes. Hey, but he still won an award somewhere, so that's what I'm talking about. Still a win-win. It was Malick who instead claimed the Best Drama Actor prize at Sunday's awards show, with the Bohemian Rhapsody team also beating A Star Is Born for Best Picture, Drama. Cooper, however, remains a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Bohemian Rhapsody producer Graham King, and he worked so hard, so I'm so happy for him. And Rami Malek is an incredible actor, he raved. It's an incredible room. I was actually able to be there with Dick Van Dyke and Carol Burnett. I mean, Denzel Washington. It's crazy. Yeah, you got a point. Those are all incredible actors. Cooper also has a lot of love for his Stars Born co-stars. He couldn't praise them enough on Tuesday's red carpet. To be here with Sam Elliott, not only him, but Dave Chappelle and Anthony Ramos and Andrew Dice Clay, it was really a director's dream to have actors give all of themselves, he said, before giving another special shout out to Elliott, who he supported at the actor's hand and footprint ceremony at the TCL Chinese Theater on Monday. This is a gentleman who has been in his career for 50 years, and for me to be able to talk about him publicly means a lot. Cooper also had his fair share of success in Hollywood, and as he had stated, it was the National Board at the National Board of Review, who really set his career on his current path. They really kind of changed everything 6 years ago. They gave me the award for acting for Silver Linings Playbook, and it really floored me. And to be back here again, honored as a director, is amazing, he expressed. So, and I still have to watch the new version of A Star Is Born with him and Lady Gaga. I'm very excited to watch that. So I will let you guys know what I think about that. I know it's not in the theaters anymore, but, it's going to be on video soon probably. So I'm going to watch it, and we're going to talk about it. Just there it is. Kit Harington says, final Game of Thrones season left cast freaking sick of it. Censor. Picture of good old Kit Harington, a.k.a. Jon Snow, the King of the North. All right. Kit Harington doesn't miss Game of Thrones yet. Right? The 32-year-old actor covers the January/February issue of GQ Australia, and inside the magazine, he opens up about being pushed to the limit filming Game of Thrones' 8th and final season. So much so that he felt freaking sick of this. Censor. The last season of Thrones seemed to be designed to break us. Everyone was broken at the end. Aaron said, damn. I don't know if we were crying because we were sad it was ending, or if we were crying because it was so effing tiring. We were sleep deprived. It was like it was designed to make you think, right, I'm freaking sick of this, he added. I remember everyone walking around towards the end going, I've had enough now. I love this. It's been the best thing of my life. I'll miss it one day, but I'm done. Ouch. What do you say to that, right? What do you say to that? I mean, I love his honesty. After nearly a decade of playing Jon Snow, Harington said he's most looking forward to the monotony of everyday life. I think people who don't work in film or TV don't realize quite how disoriented it is being away from home all the time, he remarked. The process of going to work, having a day with your colleagues, coming back to your family, cooking, having stuff in the fridge. It sounds odd to say, but it's the thing I'm looking forward to most. After 9 years, I'll be at home in one place, static. The actor is also looking forward to spending time with his new wife, Rose Leslie, whom he met on the show. The two played love interests on the HBO series, which Harington, tired of Game of Thrones, as he may be, can't help but be grateful for. Exactly. A lot of people meet their other halves at work. Our work just happened to be this iconic TV show, he shared. It dawned on me recently, and I have no idea if we will, but say me and Rose do have children, they'll know. They'll be able to see the genesis of their parents getting together, which is quite a wonderful thought, really. I thank the show for everything, but more than anything else, I thank it for introducing me to her, Harington gushed. The first footage of Game of Thrones' final season debuted on Sunday in a seconds-long teaser showing Sansa Stark, Sophie Turner, reunited with Jon Snow for the first time and meeting Daenerys Targaryen, Emilia Clarke. While the clip didn't give us much to go off of, director David Nutter, who helms the season 8 premiere, recently promised that it'll live up to the hype. It was the first time that I was able to actually direct the premiere episode of the season, so I'm just nervous. Hopefully the audience will like it. Starting season 8, but I'm very confident that they will. He said, playing coy about much speculated character deaths. I know, man, and I have to wait till April. I'm not even happy about that. We already waited a whole year. It's not even cool. And I know that I can say this. If you're a fan of the show, you will be completely satisfied by where the series goes to. They've really done a tremendous job in servicing the drama and the characters and so forth. And there are many ups and downs and twists and turns all across the Game of Thrones society and the world they are. Letter expressed. Game of Thrones returns to HBO in April. April. Man. Oh, well. In more entertainment news, Meghan Markle's brother says he's inviting her and Prince Harry to his wedding. And you know what? I've tried not to comment on on the Markles. I really have. But after we go over this news story, I have to share some thoughts. Another Markle wedding. Meghan Markle's half-brother Thomas Markle Jr. is set to tie the knot with his fiancée Darlene Blount in March and has invited his sister to the wedding. Thomas Jr., who works as a window fitter in Grants Pass, Oregon, told Daily Mail TV that he's extending an invitation to his upcoming nuptials to Meghan and her husband, Prince Harry. His father, Thomas Markle, and sister, Samantha Markle, are estranged from Meghan, but Thomas Jr. hopes Meghan showing up to the wedding will bring them all together. Absolutely, I think our wedding will bring the family closer together. It's hopeful that if Meghan and Harry came and my father, Meghan and Harry could spend some time together with him, and that would be good, he told the outlet. Thomas Jr., 52, and Darlene, 38, were either married in Reno or Las Vegas and had been dating for 2 years. Darlene told Daily Mail TV that Meghan's relationship with Harry was one of the first things Thomas told her about his family. I thought he was completely crazy, she said. Thomas added, I remember that very well. Meghan and Harry just started dating, and I mentioned it to her, and she looked at me like, yeah, who is this guy? Whatever. He's crazy, but it turned out really nice, and we've had a really good time ever since. We've had ups and downs, but we've managed to make it so far. Meghan, who's currently pregnant with her and Harry's first child together, hasn't spoken with her father since the night before her wedding last May. During a December appearance on Good Morning Britain, Thomas said he's been ghosted by his daughter. I'm not sure why it's happening. I love my daughter very much. I wish she would reach out, send me a text, anything. There has to be a place for me. I'm her father, he pleaded. Okay. So before I go into the next story, all right, so where do I start? Okay, first and foremost, your daughter's most precious day, her wedding, you're not there. You were apparently sick. She spoke to you on the phone. But, I mean, here's what I know. I mean, I don't know if he was sick or wasn't sick, but if my daughter was getting married, unless I was on my deathbed, I would be at that wedding. And even then, they can roll me on my bed rollers down the aisle as I walk her down the aisle. Because that's how important it is to me to stand up for her and to give her away. So her father-in-law shouldn't have had to have done that. So we had nothing but silence from Thomas Markle before the wedding. And as soon as after they got married, when the Markle family realized, oh, this really did happen, she really is a princess now. She's the Duchess of Sussex. This is a real thing. Now all of a sudden everybody has something to say. Now all of a sudden everybody wants to be, in Meghan's life. Wow. So, okay, Thomas Jr., okay, I get it. You miss your sister. You want her to be at your wedding. Okay, that makes sense. But newsflash, stop talking to the media and talk to your sister. Okay, first and foremost, if her and Harry were going to come to your wedding, they might want to just have people be surprised that they're there and not have you kind of try to pressure them into coming by letting the news media know that you invited her. Because that's just kind of baiting her. It's just it's the more the Markle family seems to do and say, the more I see why Meghan has distanced herself from them. Just saying. But yeah, you're supposed to invite her on the QT. She's a high profile figure now. So if you would have just invite her and her husband and say, hey, I'd love to have you. And then the thing is, like I said, once again, Thomas Markle Sr. popped up right after the wedding, talking to different news outlets about his daughter. But you could have been there and had complete access to your daughter. Interesting. Oh, well. Yeah, that's my take on the Markle clan. So, But we're very excited for Megan and her husband and their, forthcoming child. Very happy for them. So we'll see if she shows up. And if she doesn't show up to Thomas Jr.'s wedding, you know why. Like I said, that'd be like my sisters, going to the press and saying, oh, well, Keith's going to be here and there, but not just coming to me first. That would just really peeve me. I would be real agitated about that. Very agitated. We'll be back with more entertainment news after this break.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now. Don't bother. What's hot on Netflix and everything in between. That's gsmcpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
And once again, you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. This is your Captain Keith speaking. All right. So once again, Markle family, stop going to the press. Just, send her a text, write her a letter, give her a phone call, email her. But stop going to the media about what you want to happen, because all you do is just make things worse. Just saying. And in more entertainment news, Rockwell. Somebody's watching me. Yeah, that guy. Arrested for allegedly beating woman with a chair. Maybe Berry Gordy's famous one-hit wonder son, Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me, which had Michael Jackson and Jermaine Jackson on vocals, should be paranoid about going to jail because he's been a bad boy. No, they didn't write that. That's funny. He is reported to have attacked a woman named Margaret Norton, and this is not funny, actually, not at all. At the end of November, because she approached him for a payment. Rockwell, real name Kennedy Gordy, and Norton had been staying at the Magic Castle Hotel located in Hollywood right next door to the famous Magic Castle private nightclub, according to the blast. The story goes he became irate after Norton's payment request and attacked her with a chair, resulting in serious injuries, including a broken arm. The 54-year-old singer ended up spending a couple nights in jail before he was released on the morning of December 1st. So here's what else the blast has been reporting. The woman has undergone one surgery, and we're told she needs to go under the knife again to repair the extensive damage to her arm. What's wrong with, this is really bad. On January 7th, she filed a lawsuit against Rockwell in Los Angeles for personal injury and claims her damages exceed $25,000. The troubled son of Berry Gordy has multiple criminal cases open at the moment. Seriously? Including one for criminal threats and another for indecent exposure and lewd acts. He has not yet been in court over the alleged chair beating. The singer, best known for his 80s hit song Somebody's Watching Me, was arrested after allegedly beating a woman down with a chair at a Hollywood hotel, and now she has filed the lawsuit over the injury. Wow. Let me back up. Okay, so they say he's got multiple criminal cases open up at the moment. All right. And one for indecent exposure and lewd acts. So it went from Somebody's Watching Me to please let somebody watch me. Okay. All right. Oh my. Somebody look at me and look at. Wow. People, man. Kevin Hart finally says, I apologize for remarks that hurt the LGBTQ community. Well, he won't host the Academy Awards next month remains a hot topic. In the meantime, Kevin Hart is forging ahead with his apology tour for the jokes that drew condemnation from the LGBTQ community and ultimately led to him stepping down at Oscars as Oscars host. On his Sirius XM radio show, Straight to the Heart, the funny man said, I will say this and I want to make this very clear. Once again, Kevin Hart apologizes for his remarks that hurt members of the LGBTQ community. I apologize, reports The Blast. He also noted how times have changed since he made the homophobic jokes, saying, "We thought it was okay to talk like that because that's how we talk to one another. This is wrong now because now we're in a space where I'm proud of where I'm around people of the LGBT community, and I'm now aware of how these words made them feel and why they say that crap hurts because of what I've been through." Last week, after Ellen DeGeneres had Hart as a guest on her daytime talk show, and she revealed she called the Academy to advocate for him getting the hosting gig back. "I called the Academy," DeGeneres revealed. "I said, Kevin's on. I have no idea if he wants to come back and host, but what are your thoughts?" And they were like, "Oh my God, we want him to host. We feel like that maybe he misunderstood or it was handled wrong, or maybe we said the wrong thing, but we want him to host. Whatever we can do, we would be thrilled, and he should host the Oscars." The interview was heavily criticized, prompting Kevin to hit up Instagram to address it, writing, When did we get to the point where we forgot that we all learn? Then we have the ability to grow, and with what growth comes a wealth of knowledge," he added. "You can't change without an understanding of what growth means." Ellen defended the interview by explaining, "I believe in forgiveness. I believe in second chances." It's a very nice thing for her to do. So, very cool. Surviving R. Kelly. Yes, folks. R. Kelly. Damn. Surviving R. Kelly's also caught the attention of Georgia DA. Is under investigation. Now R. Kelly has another problem, and he can thank Lifetime in the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, which has led to him being under investigation by authorities in Georgia. For those of you who don't know, Lifetime channel aired a 3-day docuseries on R. Kelly called Surviving R. Kelly. And I gotta tell you, I finished watching it this morning, and it was very compelling. Very compelling. Once you start watching it, you can't stop. Very enlightening. So I recommend everybody get a chance to check it out and decide for themselves what they think about what's been said. So it says, "Yep, not only was the public glued to their TV sets during the series, but so were folks in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office." You forget about that. You forget, okay, yeah, you're at home watching, you're the home viewer, but you never thought about maybe the DA's watching this and police officers and maybe the governor and the president and the mayor and the city council and everybody else. They're like, what the? And they're all like, everyone's mouth is just dropping to the floor. Let me get back to the story. Sorry. Okay. I'll go back and say that again. So, not only was the public glued to their TV sets during the series, but so were the folks in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Those many allegations leveled against Kelly in the show were cataloged by law enforcement, and thus a probe was launched over the past several days, according to TMZ, which is also reporting. And by the way, when you watch this docuseries, they always preface at the beginning a disclaimer saying that R. Kelly denies and denounces all the allegations that have been made against him. So each episode always starts with that, just to tell you that. So, all right. But I definitely said everyone should see this. It's, very compelling. We're told investigators have been reaching out to several survivors featured in the TV project. We have confirmed investigators reached out to Asante McGee, one of the women who allegedly escaped R. Kelly's home. The attorney for Jocelyn Savage's family was contacted by Chief Investigator Cynthia Wakocha and has been fully cooperating. Meanwhile, we hear investigators have been asking for contact information from others who have lived in Kelly's former Atlanta home or have direct knowledge of what happened there. As you can imagine, during and since the series airing, investigators have been inundated with information from all kinds of sources. To be continued. And in more entertainment news, Tamar Braxton on her new love, family values, and big plans for 2019. Nice picture of her. Another picture where she shaved off all her hair. She has a nice dress on, a sequin dress. Okay. Soul Bounce caught up with Tamar Braxton ahead of her upcoming performance at New York City's Sony Hall December 28th to talk about her wild year and what's ahead. Braxton wants her fans to know that she's doing just fine following her divorce from Vince Herbert. The singer and her sisters are also in a better place. Now Tamar has a new love, a few television projects in the works, and despite not having management or label behind her, she still has big plans for 2019. So yeah, Soul Bounce is definitely, it's a urban music blog. Let's see, it looks like they interviewed her. So here's their interview. What's been the highlight or the best part of your 2018? Tamar Braxton says, I've actually had a lot of highlights. I met a gorgeous real-life T'Challa, King of Wakanda, okay. And that's been going amazing. And, a lot of people would think this is negative, but I kind of fell really, really low with my family. But the low was a blessing in disguise for all of us to really come together and be closer than we've ever been in our lives. What else? A lot of good things. I've been able to explore more television options because I've been contractually unavailable. And so this year, a lot of things are opening up for me. And I have a lot of great surprises that I'm excited about. And I have an amazing, healthy little boy who is crazy. How about that? How do you bring in the new year typically? And do you have any resolution for 2019? So here's the thing. We just had this conversation the other day, me and my friend. I used to look at New Year's as a fresh start. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to pay more attention to my career. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I decided that every year is Monday. Every day is New Year's Day. I get a chance to do something different that I haven't done before and do something better and be better at it and be happier and work toward my goals. So I don't have any resolutions, okay? Every day is New Year's Eve. Can you share a little bit about what you're working on for 2019? And Tamar says, I'm actually entertaining music. I remember that I said I'm not making any more albums. I didn't say I wasn't making any music, but I just felt like off the bluebird of happiness, that was all I had to say at the time. I'm entertaining it, meaning I'm listening to records, laughter, and I'm actually going into the studio to hear what they actually sound like. I don't know what will come of that, but the music industry has changed so much, and I just would like to know that my approach with my music would be, excuse me. She says, I'd like to know what my approach with music would be, and I haven't figured that out yet, to be honest. But as far as the television side, things are very fast-paced. Like I said before, a lot of people thought that after The Real, I wasn't able to get a job in television, but that was just simply not true. I was contractually obligated to not be on television, and it was really hard for me, as a matter of fact. It almost sent me to a deep depression because I really, really loved my job and loved what I did, and I had a lot of opportunities. As a matter of fact, I had 3 different talk shows that was available for me to do, and I had to turn them all down because of those contractual obligations. But that has changed. Look at God. Thank God. God and the universe are still smiling down on me, and I'm able to do a bunch of television shows that I haven't been able to do. So those are all coming out next year, and I can't tell you because I'm going to get in trouble. I just got my freedom. I can't tell you. Okay. Let's talk about you cutting off all of your hair. What has that response been, and how are you feeling about it now? It was the best thing I ever did for myself. It was the week of my birthday, and I remember talking to my father, and I was like, I'm going to the hairdresser to get a weave. Everybody wants to look cute on their birthday. I got to the hairdresser, and I just felt the urge to cut my hair off. It wasn't supposed to be a fashion statement, a statement that I'm going through something, that I wanted to overcome something. It was something that I felt, and it was like a real gut feeling. And I remember I went to Kimball's hair salon, and I remember they had a meeting about who was actually going to cut my hair. They was all in the huddle talking about, I'm cutting her hair. I'm not cutting her hair. And I said, now listen, here's the thing. If don't nobody cut my hair, I'm going to do it. So we need to figure out who's going to cut my hair. And it was like, well, how about we do a mohawk? Let's cut off the sides, and we'll just put some tracks in the middle, and you can flip it on each side. And they kind of talked me into it. And so I did it. And then the next day, the very next morning, showed up at the very next morning, I showed up at the hair salon and I said, cut it off. And I remember when she cut it off, I got the chills and she cried. I cried. I don't know why. Laughter. She starts laughing. We hugged, and it was just like a beautiful taking and my power back, a beautiful taking of my power back at the moment. me being fearless about whatever. I'm not afraid to talk about nothing. I'm not afraid to move forward. I'm not afraid of my past. I just want to be a better person. And it was just about me starting fresh. And to be honest, I still can't let my hair grow. I'll get to a certain length and I'll have to cut it back off again. I guess because, my growth isn't finished yet. So I have to pay attention to it. Okay. Interesting. And then Soulbound to ask her, the conversation that you, your sisters, and your mom had with Ayala Van Zandt for the world to see on Braxton family values was something. Looking back at it now, especially the scene where your mom was regulating and Toni Braxton saying that sometimes she doesn't like her family, what are your thoughts on how it all played out on TV? Well, just to be honest about it, it was a train wreck, and there was a lot of things that were fictitious. They were fictitious. A lot of clips, what was put together, and I know a lot of people feel like I'm making it up, and I'm not. A lot of combative things that you saw just wasn't real. A lot of my reactions was just the frustration of knowing what was getting ready to happen, which was basically people being combative to get a reaction. And so that is a lot of what happened that day. And I really don't want to get all the way into it, because if people get into their feelings, because if you tell the truth, they get upset about that. But it was not a good experience for me, and I don't recommend it, just being honest. We'll be back with more entertainment news after this break.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And once again, you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. It's your Captain Keith speaking. All right. R. Kelly. Chicago prosecutors ask victims, please come forward. Oh, yeah. Cook County prosecutors want any victims of R. Kelly to call them now. State Attorney Kim Fox just urged any victims, please come forward. Fox, who herself is a sexual assault survivor, says she wants families of victims to contact the officer, adding she's sickened by what she saw in the Lifetime docuseries, Surviving R. Kelly. Fox says her office has already been contacted by 2 families where alleged victims had contact with R. Kelly over the last few years. She says both alleged victims are over the age of 18. The state attorney's office has not launched a formal investigation, but Fox definitely sounds like she will if victims come forward. She wants anyone with information to contact her office at 773-674-6492. There you go. Wow. And then more R. Kelly. Under criminal investigation, Surviving Spurs probe. Sources connected to the case tell us the Fulton County District Attorney's Office has opened up an investigation into allegations made against the singer and surviving R. Kelly. We're told the probe was launched over the past few days as a direct result of what Surviving depicted. We're told investigators have been reaching out to several survivors featured in the TV project. We have confirmed investigators reached out to Asante McGee, one of the women who allegedly escaped R. Kelly's home. The attorney for Joycelyn Savage's family was contacted by Chief Investigator Cynthia Wakocha and has been fully cooperating. We're told investigators have been asking for contact information from others who have lived in Kelly's former Atlanta home or have direct knowledge of what happened in the home. We're told investigators were flooded with calls once the docuseries aired. The DA is not commenting. Well, there it is. There it is. Lindsay Lohan reveals how alleged domestic abuse inspired her to open her Mykonos beach club, or Mykonos. Lindsay Lohan opened up her club in Mykonos, Greece for a reason. The entrepreneur explained on her new MTV reality show, Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club, Paradise Boss, that she has some personal history with that specific stretch of beach. Lohan hinted at its significance in the intro to the show. I've always loved the beauty and serenity I feel when I'm here, she said. It's a place for everyone. It's beautiful, it's open-minded, and most of all, it's safe. Later in the show, Lohan and her business partner, Panos, elaborated on that. He said 3 years ago, Lindsay was there on that beach with her ex-boyfriend. She got hit by him. Wow. The Mean Girls star explained, I was in a very tumultuous relationship. I was in a different place in my life. Instead of crying or getting angry, I said, I'm going to own this beach one day because I always want everyone to feel safe. Panos said in the confessional, she wanted to remember this beach was a very fun place, not what happened to her. She said later, I made it something that is meaningful to me. Okay. In 2016, Lohan revealed in a series of interviews that her fiancé at the time, Igor Tarabasov, was allegedly abusive to her on multiple occasions. In August 2016, the Mail on Sunday posted pictures of Tarabasov getting physical with Lohan on the sand in Mykonos. Wow, this is crazy. About 2 weeks before their Mykonos tussle, someone reportedly recorded the couple fighting on the balcony late at night at their London apartment. She and her fiancé went out for a fun date one night. After they came back, Tarabasov went out with his friends. A few hours later, he came back, and when I woke up, he was standing over me. He wasn't himself. He was being very aggressive, and he attacked me, she told Mail on Sunday. It's not the first time that's the problem, but this time someone saw. I realize now you can't stay in a relationship for love, she told the publication. Well, not if it's the wrong relationship. The club owner said later, I genuinely fell in love with him, but he broke my trust and made me feel unsafe. In October 2016, Lohan's mom, Diana Lohan, told E! News she was very happy her daughter was no longer with Tarabasov. I can sleep at night, she said. It got to the point where it was abusive, and I'm a victim of domestic abuse, and it's hard. Lohan's post-Hollywood starlet life is complex at best, but she has since emerged as a very successful business owner. She has 3 clubs, and from what we've heard, her employees really enjoy working for the famous redhead. Going to Mykonos, it was like this mental thing. Lindsay's the celebrity, this huge figure. When I got there, she was the opposite of that. She was so personable, Kalmar stated before the show's premiere. Another ambassador for the beach club told us, honestly, she's so professional and I look up to her so much. She's such a strong woman. Very nice things to say. All right. Kevin Spacey's brother says actor has turned into their father who molested them. Oh, yeah. Fun podcast this one is today, folks. Oh, yeah. Nothing but just bright, cheery entertainment news for you. And this is actually a nice picture of Kevin Spacey, too. I guess from years earlier. Kevin Spacey's older brother speaks out on the actor's current sexual assault case. A few days ago, Kevin Spacey released a video of himself speaking to the camera as his House of Cards character, creepily telling the public to forgive him since he has not yet been proven guilty of his alleged disgusting crimes. This week, the actor appeared in court for a sexual assault case. After he requested to skip out on a specific date, he ended up pleading not guilty to groping a young man at a bar, and now his estranged older brother is speaking out about what he thinks of the entire situation. Picture of Kevin looks like in court. During an interview on the Drew and Mike podcast, Randy Fowler, Kevin's older brother, compared the actor to their father. When asked if he was suggesting that Kevin was molested himself as a child, Randy responded, "Yes, I am now suggesting that. The facts do line up. I have photos of him and my father suggesting that they have that look on each other's faces." Fowler says that his own experiences as a child made him live most of his adult life in turmoil and shame. However, he suggests that Kevin actually enjoyed it and is using his wealth and power and influence to lure his prey. He goes on to say that Spacey has become their father, who he calls a creature. Damn. What do you think of that information? I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, you call your father a creature. That's pretty intense. Game of Thrones final season will be like 6 movies. Oh yeah. Nice picture of the cast with George R. R. Martin sitting in the Game of Thrones itself on the Iron Throne. Okay. Everybody else is in their regular acting outfits. So very cool. Let's see. The conclusion will be epic. Game of Thrones. Let me reread that. Give you more feeling. The conclusion will be epic. Game of Thrones. Final season is only months away. Even with the epic conclusion right around the corner, fans have little idea what will transpire on the show's 8th season. There are only a few people who have seen all 6 of the final episodes, and HBO chief Richard Plepler is one of them. Plepler, just saying that's hard to say, spoke with Variety about his reaction to watching the final season of HBO's hit series, and his answer will only make you more impatient for it to drop. It's a spectacle. The guys have done 6 movies, Plepler stated. The reaction I had while watching them was, I'm watching the movie. They knew the bar was high. They've exceeded the bar. I watched them twice without any CGI, and I'm in awe. Everybody's in for an extraordinary treat of storytelling and a magical production. Although the final season of Game of Thrones will only contain 6 episodes, rumor is that each of those episodes will run for 90 minutes. HBO did drop off a teaser for the series this past weekend, which only featured a scene of Sansa Stark welcoming Daenerys to Winterfell, with Jon Snow by her side. Although a happy ending would be satisfactory, I don't expect that romance to end any better than previous Targaryen relationships. We shall see. All we know is we're all excited and a little bit nervous about what you're going to do with this last season. So I just have a few requests. Do not kill off my favorite characters. That's all I'm saying. Just don't do it. And in more entertainment news, The Sopranos creator talks upcoming sequel as HBO series turns 20. That show's been it's 20 years old now. That's crazy. It's crazy. The Sopranos will get a new life. HBO's The Sopranos may have ended back in 2007, but the way the show impacted primetime television still lives on to this day. The mob-based series proved that television shows don't always have to make you laugh, and the love fans had for the lead star James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano, and his family helped the show live through 6 strong seasons. Since the show's premiere turns 20 this year, the creator David Chase chatted with Deadline about the sequel, The Many Saints of Newark, and what inspired it to come to life. I was interested in Newark and life in the Newark at that time, he told the publication. I used to go down there every Saturday night for dinner with my grandparents. But the thing that interested me most was Tony's boyhood. I was interested in exploring that. At first, David thought a sequel would be impossible since the passing of James in 2013. But exploring the era that made James' character is what the sequel will be about. HBO/Getty Images. I was against the movie for a long time, and I'm still very worried about it. But I became interested in Newark, where my parents came from, and where the riots took place. He added, I was living in suburban New Jersey at the time that happened, and my girlfriend was working in downtown Newark. I was just interested in the whole Newark riot thing. I started thinking about those events and organized crime, and I just got interested in mixing those two elements. So is this going to be a prequel or a sequel? Because if it's a sequel, we're talking about Tony's gone now, so you could write that he died, and does his daughter take over the business, or does his son, or does his wife? The focus will be on the crime family, such as Tony Soprano's. It's going to depict when it was good. The mafia was very polished at that time, how they dressed and what they did, David said. See, that sounds like a prequel to me and not a sequel. So sounds like a prequel. The history before we get to the good stuff. Prequel. Background information on your main character and his family. Just saying. Not a sequel. Kill shot averted. Why Machine Gun Kelly is prospering in 2019. Eminem's latest arch nemesis. It looks just like him, just a tall, skinny version of him. It's kind of crazy. Despite Eminem and his fan base believing that he's dealt MGK's, Machine Gun Kelly's, career a fatal blow, all signs point to the Cleveland MC capitalizing off his newfound notoriety You don't want to beef with Eminem, the game said succinctly when discussing his past feud with G-Unit label mate turned nemesis 50 Cent. He shreds MCs for real. I ain't his best friend or nothing. I'm just saying that I understand he can't be seen. Jay know, everybody knows. You don't mess with the white boy. Well, that was a very classy thing to say. Okay. People are funny. We'll continue this story after this break.
Golden State Media Concepts bring you Book Review Podcast, a haven for bookworms of all ages and the widest genres, from mystery to memoirs, romance to comedy, fantasy to sci-fi. If you love to read, this is a podcast for you. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Book Review Podcast.
And once again, you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. Your Captain Keith speaking. And we're currently reporting on Machine Gun Kelly and his current status after Eminem's Kill Shot diss track. So we just had a quote from the game. It was very interesting. Aside from being a global superstar with endless plaques on his walls, Slim Shady's trophy case also contains the scalps of artists that never fully recuperated from lyrical exchanges with Detroit's finest, including Ja Rule, Benzino, and Everlast. Known for eviscerating MCs and even celebrity bystanders with quick-witted and spiteful bars, MGK's decision to rise to Eminem's bait from kamikazes not alike was met with skepticism from both hip-hop fans and Shady diehards. Aiming for the jugular like few others dared to, MGK showed no remorse for his comments about M's daughter, Haley, and went further than anyone would have expected. Sparked by a 2012 tweet that labeled Shady's firstborn hot as F, this remark was neither forgiven or forgotten 6 years later, as M dedicated a whole verse to tearing down MGK, a non-threatening blind fairy cornball. Quote, a few days later, MGK clapped back on the Ronnie J. helmed response, Rap Devil. There you go. And decried Eminem for his perceived petulance over trying to blackball him, stating that the big bad bully of the rap game can't take a effing joke. Oh my. An audacious, take no prisoners retort that painted Shady as embittered man clinging on to past glories. It wasn't long before the elder statesman felt implored to get back in the booth and construct his kill shot. With his intentions worn directly on his sleeve, M's assault hinged on the notion that he had to give you a career to destroy it, and presenting his rebuttal as the indisputable death knell for the Cleveland MC's relevance. But wait, there's more. A million memes later, the consensus among M fans may have been that his victory was a foregone conclusion, and another misguided good people, planet Earth, and another misguided adversary had been slain. But in reality, it seems as though Machine Gun Kelly may have lived to tell the tale. In the months that have passed since the biggest blows were exchanged, it's safe to say that MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, has been reveling in renewed spotlight. For starters, the streaming service arrival of Rap Devil, alongside a brazen live performance of the song in M's native Michigan, netted him his first ever iTunes chart #1 in the U.S. and Canada. Likely fueled by well-informed opportunism, Machine Gun Kelly capitalized on his prevalence in the headlines and internet chatter by dropping a new EP, Binge, in September, pulling in 21,000 in first week sales and peaking at a modest number 15. His detractors could have chalked this performance up to a loss in comparison to the record-shattering capabilities of Killshot, but it has to be contextualized in the sense that he nor any other MC bar Kendrick, Drake, or Jay is ever expected to do M's numbers. And that's true. I heard the song. My biggest complaint about what he did, I've got no problem with you releasing your EP after you put out Killshot, but put Killshot on your EP to make more people buy your EP. So, it's just like a lot of these MCs will do these diss tracks and they release them just as singles, and that flows. But when you make them a part of your record, now it's really a part of history. Now it's not just a diss track single that's out there in the ether. Now it's a part of history because you put it on your record. So now people are like, oh yeah, I remember. So that'd be my only criticism to Machine Gun Kelly. You should have put, Rap Devil on the Binge EP. Because basically, I'm pretty sure, if I can recall, Kill Shot is on Kamikaze. So, case in point. In the wake of the feud, Machine Gun Kelly, MGK, has funneled his post-Eminem notoriety into a variety of artistic avenues, even veering outside of hip-hop, as pointed out to The Breakfast Club. In response to M's apparent fixation with his man bun in both Not Alike and Kill Shot, music is not the sole medium that the man born Richard Colson Baker has made waves in over the past few years. You want to talk about a hairstyle? I wore in a blockbuster movie and a 10-episode Showtime series called Roadies. I'm an actor, homie. How disconnected are you? I'm an Eminem fan, but I'm not going to lie. I wasn't a Machine Gun Kelly fan until I heard Rap Devil and saw the video. I like them both for different reasons. What I like about Machine Gun Kelly is that he really does seem to be very defiant. He doesn't care. He doesn't seem to be intimidated by Eminem, which is very interesting and very rare. What I like about Eminem, man, he just made some legendary records. He is an MC who loves hip hop. It's obvious when you hear him rhyme. Yeah, it just is. I just wish that he could find some new things to talk about. I think he's a great MC. I do. Yeah. In the wake of his war with Shady, and one particularly fortuitous role, this is a side of MGK's portfolio that the general public is aware of now more than ever. Viewed by a historic 45 million Netflix accounts over 7 days, the Sandra Bullock starring movie Bird Box transcended the ranks of the average film release and became a cultural event that even spawned a life-endangering social media trend. I'm gonna have to watch this movie and see what the fuss is about. So we'll talk about that probably in a week or so. On the television podcast I do. Alrighty, and on this one too, most definitely. Coupled with all the theorizing about its ending and any deeper symbolism the movie harbored, one of its biggest talking points became MGK's role as a drug addict, Felix. The basis for news articles about the screen time alongside bewildered tweets from viewers with no prior knowledge of his acting career, the misinformed remarks that Eminem destroyed his rap career and now he's trying to become an actor did little to hamper the fact that his name is now more embedded into the zeitgeist than ever. In a tweet after its release, MGK shed light on the meaning he derived from the film, and in the wake of all impassioned cries that his career had been extinguished, his interpretation is extremely fitting. When I read the script, I remember thinking Bird Box was a metaphor for what's going on in the real world, and it really is. Don't take off your blindfold and become like all the ugliness around us. It'll kill you. Stay focused on your own crap, censor. Far from deterred by the hate that's been leveled against him, Machine Gun Kelly clearly has no plans of slowing down. With an eclectic mix of films on the release slate for 2019, ranging from the pivotal roles in Rupert Wyatt's sci-fi thriller Captive State and comedy Big Time Adolescence with Pete Davidson, to what looks to be a transformative performance as Tommy Lee in the Motley Crue biopic The Dirt. I gotta watch that. All signs point to his career being not only unblemished by the Eminem fracas, but rather updated with a fresh coat of intrigue. Intent on keeping anything but a low profile, post-Kill Shot, Machine Gun Kelly graced the cover of Galore magazine, played arenas on Fall Out Boy's Mania tour, alongside a sold-out annual Xmas headline show at Cleveland's Wolstein Center that had loyal fans camping out the night before, and most importantly declared that his fourth full-length project is on the way. Picture of him and Pete Davidson. I will say this though, Eminem did 2 movies appearances. He's in The Wash with Snoop Dogg and Dre. And he was funny in there, and he's also in The Interview. So I would love to see him do some more movies, and let's see what else he has up our sleeve. So I want to see more from both of them. This is classic hip hop, when the battle rap is a great part of hip hop, and it's more interesting when your adversary doesn't go away. So, because that means it keeps you on your toes. And it's just kind of weird because I look at Machine Gun Kelly and I'm like, come on, Marshall. I mean, this guy is obviously influenced by you. You're having a feud with the guy who's, I mean, yeah, you're still his idol. I don't care what he says. He's influenced by you. Definitely. So, that whole thing is very intriguing. The Eminem Machine Gun Kelly rap battle, very intriguing. And in more entertainment news, Jordan Peele's Us world premiere to launch at the South by Southwest opening night. South by Southwest attendees will get the first glimpse of Us. Jordan Peele solidified himself as a director with the release of Get Out. The critically acclaimed film was not only a box office success, but an introduction to Peele's brilliance for anyone who's solely known him from Key and Peele. On Christmas, Peele shared the trailer to his follow-up film, Us, which is due out later this year. The trailer was undoubtedly creepy, but proved that Peele is mastering the art of directing a great horror film. According to Variety, the film will help launch the opening night of South by Southwest. Jordan Peele's upcoming horror thriller, Us, will be making its world premiere at South by Southwest this year. The film is set to make its debut during the opening night of South by Southwest Film Festival on March 8th. This will be the second year in a row that South by Southwest launched with a horror film. A Quiet Place was the film used to launch the festival's 2018 edition, and that's an excellent film. We are crazy excited to world premiere the most anticipated film of 2019 from the creative powerhouse that brought us Get Out. Janet Pearson, director of the film for the festival, told Variety. We honestly couldn't imagine a more perfect film to kick off the 2019 South by Southwest Film Festival. Us is a movie starring Lupita Nyong'o's Winston. Let me slow down. So Us is a movie starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, and Elizabeth Moss. The film follows a family who's been confronted by a group of doppelgangers. There you go. And folks, just when you thought he had fell off the face of the earth, he's coming back. Frank Ocean's Blonde re-enters the Billboard Top 200. Right on. Frank Ocean's back on the Billboard chart despite not dropping any new music. Frank Ocean's beloved tape Blonde is easily one of the best tapes to be released in 2016. And it's Feel Free to at Me. The 17-track album was filled with intimate tellings of Frank's thoughts and feelings, and unsurprisingly, almost a full 3 years later, the project has re-entered the Billboard 200. With no airplay, that's really interesting. With how emotional the tape can be, it begs us to wonder what in the world has sparked so many people to head back to Frank's album. But then again, we'd rather just listen to the album in peace. Before the new year, Frank did make his Instagram public rather than keeping it private as he did for so long. Since then, fans have been able to keep up with their favorite singer and all that he's been up to. From his dope kicks, food court runs, mirror selfies, many hair changes and muses, Frank's private life has been put on display more than ever, probably urging people to re-listen to his fine work. I haven't shied away from expectations, Frank previously stated when talking about Blonde. I really try to use it as fuel because people have a positive association of what I do and what I make, and they expect something that's good. So, okay, how do you convert that into, I don't know, just a better moment, a better song, a better album, a better presentation? All right. Drake's Scorpion was the most popular album of 2018. See? There's no doubt that Drake won 2019, but it's not surprising since he essentially won every other year as well. Off the bat, Drake began his campaign with God's Plan. Great song, great video. The lead single off his chart-topping multi-platinum album, Scorpion. Nielsen Music's tracking year came to an end on January 3rd, which further confirmed Drake as the biggest artist of 2018. Drake had the most song and album streams of 2018. Billboard reports that rapper had the most popular album of the year was Scorpion. The album earned 3.9. I don't even know how to read this. I don't know if this is supposed to. 3.9. So I'm gonna say almost 4 million equivalent album with a year with 330,000 of those units deriving from pure album sales. Okay, let's see. The Rappers Project was driven by its high streaming activity. God's Plan also earned the honor of being the most streamed song in 2018 with combined numbers from audio and video streams. The track garnered 1.56 billion streams throughout the course of the year. For that song? Seriously? Wow. However, it did come in second to Ed Sheeran's Perfect for top selling digital songs of the year. Okay. That's amazing. Let's see. Any more on Drake? So following Drake's Scorpion for the top 10 albums of the year, Post Malone's Beer Bongs and Bentleys with 3,251 units sold. No, 3,251,000 units sold, excuse me. Post Malone also came in second to Drake for most on-demand streams for a song with Psycho featuring Ty Dolla $ign, which received 594,516 streams in 2018. 2018 was a big year for Drake, but can he top it in 2019? So we'll see. Yeah, he did his thing. Well, good people of the planet Earth and the known universe. Oh, I was about to say goodbye, but nope. Wait, one more entertainment news article for you, my good people of this beautiful universe and planet. Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos are getting divorced after 25 years of marriage. The world's richest couple is splitting up. Jeff Bezos and his wife Mackenzie are getting a divorce after 25 years of marriage. Okay. According to a joint statement put out Wednesday, today, the Amazon CEO's Twitter account. After a long period of loving exploration and trial separation, we have decided to divorce and continue our shared lives as friends, the couple said in a statement. We feel incredibly lucky to have found each other and deeply grateful for every one of the years we've been married to each other, the statement continues. If we had known we'd separate after 25 years, would we do it again? Would we do it all again? Bezos is 54 and Mackenzie's 48. Met and got married while working at D.E. Shaw, a New York-based hedge fund, in the early 90s. Shortly after, they packed up and moved across the country to Seattle, where Bezos launched Amazon. Bezos is now the world's richest person with an estimated net worth of $137 billion. You guys heard that, right? $137 billion. I mean, how do you become like the richest person in the world? So, no longer Bill Gates. I mean, just like, we used to think that list would fluctuate on who was the richest. No more question. Mr. Bezos, $137 billion. Wow. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, that means this divorce could end up being very costly. Mackenzie is an author of multiple novels, including Traps and The Testing of Luther Albright. Last year, the couple announced plans to commit $2 billion to fund existing nonprofits that help homeless families and also to create a network of preschools in low-income communities. In the joint statement, the couple said they look forward to continuing working together as parents, friends, partners in ventures and projects, and as individuals pursuing ventures and adventures. They have 4 children. Well, there that is. Well, good people on the planet Earth and the known universe, you've been listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. It's your Captain Keith. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. I always do. Appreciate you all. Thank you for listening and tuning in. And until next time, see you somewhere out in space.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.